Hey, my name is Warren, and in this video I'm going to be showing you a Upwork proposal that I sent to a prospect, which I then landed. I'm going to break down how I use Loom and a couple of little things in the text to get their attention to click the Loom to land this prospect, and how you can do the same. I'm also going to break down the potential costs and what you should kind of set aside for your budget. So yeah, let's jump in. So I put together a little spreadsheet here of breaking down the costs to start off for you. So for example, if you have roughly about $100, you should be safe to ideally get your first client. I know things are different. When I first started Upwork, you didn't need any of this stuff. You could just submit proposals. Now, unfortunately, you've got to put more money in. You've got to pay to be verified, a lot of other things like that. But yeah, if we just look at the cost, for $19.99, you'll get their membership. As well as that, you'll get 100 connects. Okay. Now you need, I think it's 30 or 40 to become verified. So it's a great start. You can get verified and you'll have a bunch of these connects to then apply for more roles. A webcam, about $25, obviously, if you already have one, and you'll see here a free or cheap alternative for webcam and microphone. You could get it for free. You could just use your phone. All you have to do is set the phone up and then use something like Screen Time Player, for example, with Mac to record your screen. As well as that, a microphone, a little headset would only cost you about $20 in your local tech store. It'd be brilliant. It does the job and it looks professional. More connects I would recommend so that you have a basis. Realistically, if you can just put into your head, okay, I'm going to set $100 aside. I mean, you're trying to launch a business, you're trying to launch a career. If you go to college, it's going to cost you, $300,000 to $300,000. This is $100. Well worth it, in my opinion. So yeah, this is just a quick synopsis of the cost breakdown of what you'd be looking at and what I would expect for you to set aside before you get your first Upwork clients. I would highly recommend putting $100 in maybe a Wise account, a Venmo, Revolut, whatever it is, a different account with a card if you want, if that will help you segregate better. But yeah, this is an example of the costs. Now let me run you through more of, I suppose, what it looked like in the proposal. So this is the posting itself. As you'll see here with the posting, one of the most important things that I did in particular was that when I looked at it, I said, and I realized there was a need to observe, which you'll get often, but come back with, here we go, their segregation point. Now, a lot of people will do this with posts. It's essentially just to weed out those who are lazy, those who haven't shown the time or put in the effort to realize, hey, there's a little trap in here. So again, this let's get you leads thing was clear. Start with that, and then again immediately come in with something that I have learned, which is to give value. So obviously I submitted rates, and then I said, hey, let's get you leads attached to Loom. So I immediately let them know I'm qualified, and also I put extra work in to show you who I am, what I'm about. I don't want to waste your time with slop about who I am, what I do. Again, reinforcing my desire to get straight down to business as opposed to actually trying to psychologically get him to advance me as opposed to others. Again, see link for example campaign, and I will pull up this Loom now in a second, and I will overlay the audio so you can hear what I said, and I'll break it down as it goes along. But before that, just a quick synopsis. Clearly you can see here, reach out to me. He got back to me immediately and he said, hey Warren, love the Loom, let me know when you want to chat. Again, I replied to him as quickly as possible. This is something I want to touch on. Having notifications. If you have to make a separate email, turn all notifications off for everything else you have. Only have notifications on for your Upwork connected email. And when it comes through, get back to them straight away. With any form of lead generation, lead nurturing, whatever it is that you will do, the quicker you get back. I don't care if you meet someone on a dating app. Get back to them quickly. People love speed. People love to feel like they matter. Get back to them immediately. And if you don't, what are you doing? If you're too busy, this isn't for you. Do something else. Get back immediately, or have a system that does, an automated system. Again, at midnight here, I got back to him quickly. I said, hey, I can do a call. He wasn't available. I gave him my calendar. He booked, and I did 2 quick calls, one with him, one with his co-founder, and they closed for $1,900 a month. That's just an example. I'm going to break down now the actual Loom itself and go over the things I said, why I said it, and so on and so forth. So this is the Loom itself. Now let me just put me somewhere else and I'll show you the Loom. Now I'm going to have to edit in an overlay over the audio because I don't think it's going to pick it up right now, but I'll just play it and fix that in post-production. So here we go. As you can see, I actually tend to do them on 1.2 times speed. Obviously you can do whatever you want. It's just, if I'm speaking relatively slowly, it's helpful. They can get it done quicker. It's 2 minutes. The goal of this all is just to get them a synopsis of me. Anyway, let me jump in and break this down for you now. My man Warren is my name. I've been doing lead gen since 2016. I'm just going to run through a recent instant lead campaign, talk over how I got these leads for free using AI and scraping. Now, I have a lot of experience with the tools you've mentioned, with many other tools as well, whether it be automation or tools for scraping, anything like that for lead gen, even running ads and copying, everything like that, cold call. So I've just prefaced who I am and that I have a skill set that would apply for the role. One of the things I mentioned was the campaign I'm going to show, and that how I was able to use free scraping methods. I'll touch on that in a separate video. This is obviously for now just showing you getting through the door and getting the client. So that was a lot of qualification, and then I said, hey, 20 seconds in, I said, hey, I'm going to cut that and I'm going to show you what I can do. So I'm going to prove essentially the authority that I'm speaking from. I'm going to show you an example of a campaign. So for this campaign in particular, the data I got was from a directory. Now you can get a directory for almost any industry. I got the directories, and then using DeepSeek and GPT, instead of using a scraping tool, I wrote a code. I plugged that code into the terminal of my MacBook, and then I was able to instantly puff up 3,500 leads. Now I'll pull up the campaign on instantly here. It's a bit wrong, but one thing I kind of want to go over is the fact that over the sequencing, the series. So I'm about to talk him through basically the campaign, how things went. I'm showing him now on an instantly, showing him the returns of this campaign, and then I go into the GHL, I think, and I show him the post effects, so to see that people are converting through and joining systems, basically. Opportunities that came through, that qualified. It was spread out. It wasn't just the first email. It wasn't just the second email. It's pretty right now. You'll see it's a bit of a unique selling point, which is that I took the thing that I did and I said, okay, how can I package this better? One of the things was that the leads that came through that were highly qualified didn't all come through on the last email, which you'll get a lot with a campaign, because you'll have maybe the first one is like a, hey, this is who I am. It's kind of chill. The second one is like, here's someone I helped. The third one might be a pain point or like a crazy tactic they have or whatever. And then the fourth one might be the call to action. And that might be where most people convert. Obviously, this wasn't that system. So it was kind of saying, hey, I do something a little bit different. Are you interested? To have 1, 2, and 3 all generating, because they were all different angles and they were all different pain points. I've invested over 35 grand in many different online courses, systems. My first cold email system, for example, Cold Email Wizard back in 2020, it cost me like $80 or something. I think he sells it now for like 5k. Daniel Fazio. But anyway, I could go on and on. Here's the GHL to kind of back up 196k in revenue. Just for this industry. But yeah, it was using code. There's many different ways to skin a cat, but lead generation has been my expertise. And
okay,
I'm
so
for projects
I'm just
like
ending it off by saying
that it's
I'm
not
qualifying myself for his role. So I'm saying I've done these things. I would like to work with you for all of the reasons you discussed, because in their posting, they mentioned that, yeah, okay, there's going to be an upfront amount, but really it's the long-term kickback of what you'll make by signing these clients for them. So that's just a quick synopsis, I guess, of what it looks like. Again, if you want either, you'll be able to find it linked in the description. I now have a free school community where I'm going to be sharing everything I've learned. As I mentioned there, spent over 35k in different investments, masterminds, courses, whatever the fuck. My first online course is 2015, 16. So it's unlikely that there's going to be anyone else who has been around for what I've been around for who isn't a decamillion. So anyway, listen, that's that for now. If you have any questions, jump on the school community, join. Why not? See how it is. I'm going to do a call, a coffee hour call, I don't know, morning coffee at the weekend, and then I'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that, and let me put myself in the middle. Good luck.